national anthem may not sound familiar, but the history and heritage of this tiny country, 3.5 million people on the coast of West Africa, indelibly link it to the United States. While indigenous Africans have thrived here for centuries, Liberia, it means land of freedom, was also settled in the early 1800s by freed American slaves. They were bankrolled by some unlikely partners: abolitionists eager to give African Americans their own nation, Southern slave owners fearful of rebellion, and Christian missionaries keen to spread the gospel. This is their Plymouth Rock. It's actually called Providence Island, where the first group of settlers arrived nearly 200 years ago on their own version of the Mayflower. But while they crossed the ocean in the opposite direction, they never really left America behind. The newcomers transplanted everything from the flag, it looks just like ours, to the map. There's a county here called Maryland. The capital, Monrovia, is named for U.S. President James Monroe, and their first president, Joseph J. Roberts, was born in Virginia. The official language here is English and the standard of currency, the dollar. Liberians celebrate most everything American, including former U.S. President George W. Bush, who gave Liberia $2 billion in aid and debt relief. They even wrote him a song. Thank you for debt relief. Just was taken. But while Liberians are grateful for American help, this nation is now struggling to establish its own identity and move beyond its traditional ties.
So most Liberians feel that America and Liberia have this link. And to a large extent, most Liberians even feel that Liberia is, in a sense, part of America. And sometimes people say we are the stepchild of America.
With rice and plantain?
The bond is so close, descendants of the pioneers, like restaurant owner Rosie Tolbert, were known as Americo-Liberians.
We look to America for everything, for fun, for clothes, for food, for vacation, for work. America was just an extension of our arm.
Rosie's great-grandfather came to Liberia from South Carolina in 1879 as a freed slave. Her uncle, William Tolbert, served as president of the country. He would be the last of a dynasty of Americo-Liberian leaders. Indigenous people resented what they called the ruling elite, and in 1980 rebelled in a bloody coup. President Tolbert was murdered. Rosie was 10. Her father, a businessman, became a target.
The government was saying you need to turn yourselves in or else we'll shoot to kill. Either you or any member of your family that we see.
Like thousands of other Liberians, Rosie's family escaped to America, where they lived as Liberia was ravaged by a series of tortuous civil wars. Rosie went to college and trained as a chef. But as comfortable as she was in the U.S., a visit to Africa made her think differently about her work.
I feel like I'm just doing the same thing every day and I'm not really making a big difference to anybody. But if I were to take that and bring it here, I would be able to do so much more.
So in this war-wrecked country where many still lack electricity and running water, Rosie opened a bakery, a catering business, and restaurant in what was once the family home. She now employs more than 50 Liberians in high-end food service jobs.
I wanted my staff to learn something different and to try to learn something that would help them, benefit them for the future, because if any other major corporation comes in here, not that I want them to leave me, but but if anybody else comes in, at least you have a skill.
So you're not just giving them jobs, you're training them for their next jobs.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do, because I felt that's a way of giving back.
That is precisely the drive that Liberia's president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, hopes will lure home more of the several thousand Liberians who now live in the United States. Liberians with the skills and education to rebuild their nation. To them, she says,
prepare to come home and join this team and join this reconstruction effort. Your country needs you.
She says her country also needs to find its own national identity. That after all those years of dependence on the U.S., it may be time to be less Americo and more Liberian.
Because of our history, we always felt we had this patron out there, you know, this big brother that if we ever ran into trouble, all we had to do was to cry, and Uncle Sam, our father, would come and save us. And
Uncle Sam with the same red, white, and blue, with a similar flag?
Those are some of the symbols that we also think will need to be changed. We'll have to find something that takes us back to a history before the settlers came. Our flag, our seal, all reflect really the dominance of the settler group. To get full unity, we have to deal with those historical symbols that have led to the division.
For her part, Rosie is trying to combine the best of both countries, a fusion of Liberian and American cuisine and loyalty. She says she's here to stay.
Not everybody will come and decide to stay. Not everybody will see the hope, but it just kind of grabs you. It grabs your heart.
You're glad you came back.
I'm ecstatic that I came back.
I'm Lynn Scher for World Focus in Monrovia, Liberia.